Saints quarterback Derek Carr was upgraded to a full participant in Friday's practice. He is one of 8 players who are questionable to play Sunday. Welcome back to The Dot, presented by Matt Bowers Auto Group. I'm Brooke Kirchhoffer alongside Nick Underhill. Based on what we've seen this week, though, Nick, we all kind of expect to see Derek Carr get the start Sunday, but what has to happen for him to test out of concussion protocol?
He just has to not have symptoms coming out of this practice where he practiced in full. I got both feet in on him starting this week. I would be shocked if he doesn't. It seems like everything's progressed that way. They prepared all week as if he was going to be the starter. I think if there was even any doubt early in the week, we would have seen Jameis Winston getting the first team reps just to have that preparation, and then Carr would have had to chase him down. But it seemed like Carr was the front runner the whole week. So if he doesn't play this week, I think something has gone seriously wrong. I'd be shocked if he isn't out there this week.
Speaking of symptoms, we found out that Chris Olave is dealing with the flu. We did see him back in the locker room today, kind of getting evaluated by the Saints team doctor. It will be one of those things, too, depending on if he has symptoms this weekend, getting that fever down. He said he's still kind of dealing with some feverish things, but he is hoping that he plays on Sunday. Dennis Allen also said that Chris Olave is hopeful to play Sunday. The big question mark, though, is what's going on with Taysom Hill?
I don't think Taysom's going to play this week. It didn't look good. It didn't sound good. He didn't practice. We didn't see him in the locker room today. All of those things kind of point towards him not playing in this game. They've kind of been moving Lim Bowden around in a different type of role where he could maybe fill in some of that stuff. Nobody's going to replace Taysom Hill or be the Taysom Hill package. Nobody's going to run QB power like him or anything like that. But I think some of the window dressing that he does, I wouldn't be shocked to see Bowden take on some of that stuff. And yeah, as for Olave, like we heard that he's going to play. So, like, I think he's going to play this week. I think something would have to go really wrong there, too. So that's a good thing for this team because if he doesn't play this week, that wide receiver group is scary looking right now with how depleted they are.
I don't think we expect to see Rashid Shaheed also play in Sunday's game. He is one of the 8 players. Chris Olave is questionable to play. Rashid Shaheed's questionable to play. Taysom Hill, I believe, is questionable to play. The only 2 guys that are listed as out are the 2 draft picks, Isaiah Foskey and Kendre Miller. Disappointing with those 2, how the season has gone on for them. Definitely not what the Saints anticipating, selecting those 2 as highly as they were drafted in this year's draft. But Kendre Miller didn't re-aggravate anything, didn't have any setbacks. He's just been dealing with, it almost seems like a new injury in week to week. Now, if Chris Olave is in, you'd still have Rashid Shaheed, Michael Thomas, and potentially Taysom Hill out. Who do we expect to see wide receiver 1 if it's not Chris Olave right off the bat?
Well, I don't know if there is a wide receiver 1 if it isn't Chris Olave, just in the sense of like, who? Like, is it Callaway? Is it Keith Kirkwood? Like, I think it's very, very, very bleak if Olave doesn't play this week. If you're asking me, I don't know who would be the receiving leader coming out of that game. I guess I go Callaway. I don't even know where else to go with it at this point. It is bad though. Like we were out there watching it today, and it was just kind of it was shocking just to see like they had 3 guys that were like all borderline, number 1, number 2 guys, and now they have none out there right now. So if Chris doesn't play, like it's almost to the point where I would start looking maybe at like, are the Panthers going to win this game? I think it's that important for him to be out there.
Let's hit every unit. Special teams looking okay. Blake Grupe seems to be ready to go this Sunday, but defensively, Cam Jordan will likely play Sunday, but it's a matter of how often he will get in. He will be on a snap count, still dealing with an ankle injury. He was still his funny Cam self when we saw him in the locker room. Didn't get a chance to interview him. We do expect to hear from him next week or potentially after the game, but with Cam potentially being in a limited role and Malcolm Roach out, there's going to be a lot of names that need to step up on the defensive line as we're seeing with the wide receiver room.
Yeah, who are you looking for out of that group?
Tano Passanio will likely be the guy, especially now that Isaiah Foskey is out. The Saints did add in some free agents this week. Maybe we see those guys in there, but man, a really, really depleted defensive line, especially adding Isaiah Foskey to ruled out this week.
Yeah, it's a disappointing group overall, and it's just kind of everything has gone the wrong way. Talked to Peyton Turner today. He said that he's hoping to be back by the end of the season. He feels like he's ahead of schedule week to week right now with that injury, but it's still kind of a long shot to see him out there on the field, but he is motivated to get out there. He wants to show everyone that he had everything on track. Dislocated 2 toes, though, and it's just kind of been slow going, getting back on the field.
All right, as for the guys who will be playing Sunday, we will be breaking all of that down in our Matchups Friday show live from PJ's Coffee on NewOrleans.Football. We'll see you guys there.